Hello everyone! Welcome to the Mania 4K World Cup 2024 edition, and we're going to be having a very fun match this time around because we're going to be having, I believe, Seed 9 versus Seed 10, and there we have it, Malaysia versus the Russian Federation. I'm Saluas Kaels, and joining me on the commentary booth is none other than Eliminate. Hello there, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing pretty good. Looking forward to this match. C9 versus C10. This is as close as it gets, really. And I mean, we're in the semifinals now. These map pools getting pretty hard, I would say. And honestly, seedings, as we've seen so far throughout this tournament, we can just go ahead and say it means nothing. But like I said, 9 and 10, oh, I would like to see something really good in this match.
I mean, I just want to see great matches. Malaysia and Russia definitely have the potential. So Russia's banning SV2, that's fair. I mean, SV2 is a really difficult map. So Rice 4 being Malaysia's ban? I'm not sure if Russia is entirely good in Corjax, but if that's what Malaysia's not good at in Rice, then I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen much from Malaysia on the SV side of things as of recently, so having Russia only played the SV last round, I mean, I guess maybe they're just not too confident that they can beat out Malaysia. That lack of information really is maybe what is opting them to ban it, but Malaysia wasting no time at all, just going straight into the LN2, which I do want to mention. I do think this match will be more... Actually, I was kind of thinking the opposite. I think Russia was going to pick more into the LN, Malaysia into the Rice, considering the results from last round. But ultimately, I think Malaysia overall have kind of got the upper hand and everything, so Russia need to be, I would say, pretty careful with their picks.
When it comes to LN release, I do think Russia has the advantage. Like, we saw their packet hero score, but Russia also has like a floor that's lower than Malaysia's score. However, if we're looking at LN2, actually, Malaysia has a very good classic Einheit last weekend, so it's not surprising that Malaysia is going for the LN Density route. This is their best chance of winning a point, which I'm not sure if this is the best pick to go, but I guess they want to start this off with having the best chance to start 1-0, because starting 1-0 is definitely better than starting 0-1, I mean, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, and I mean, as I was saying, Russia's scores on, I mean, all the Rice maps look very good as well. Russia overall, these teams for Seed 9, Seed 10, they're pretty crazy, alright? And I mean, we're at the semifinals now, so can they keep up with this BPM, with this density, with this difficulty? This will be the first match that we see from these teams in this round. So this will be the determining factor, I suppose, for what's to come in this match.
Definitely determining factors. I'm just really not sure. I'm not really not sure how this one will turn out, because I feel like the physicality aspect might affect Malaysia a little bit. Though then again, Russia's LN accuracy, with the exception of LN release, I think should be slightly behind Malaysia's.
Yeah, with this map being more towards the jump stream accuracy side of things, I mean, Malaysia do have the early lead with their 2,000 point advantage. Everyone is full comboing, but they just have the slight accuracy lead. I mean, Robot already down to 99.5, not really what you want to see if you're in for Russia here, but Jay is the first one to find the miss in the lobby, and I mean, that already is going to give some points back to Russia, and the combo is really all that's important right now, but Leon also finds that miss.
These patterns are not friendly to players who aren't that adept in physicality, and I know, like, if I were to look at these two teams side to side, Russia is slightly more physical than Malaysia, and you can already see that with patterns like this, Trill heavy plus rolls and technicality, it definitely favors a team like Russia more than Malaysia, at least in this context where these two are facing each other.
Yeah, Russia are a very strong team, but this is Malaysia's pick. This is their first pick, and already giving a 70,000 point lead to Russia halfway through the map. This is only a 2-minute long map, mind you. This is pretty short, and Malaysia really need to lock in for the rest of the map, but Russia still holding on to 3 full combos. I mean, as long as they hold on for the rest of the map, they can't lose it, but as I see that, Robot is the first one to miss on the Russian side.
And that one's massive because that was Russia's worst accuracy. However, Leon fighting another drop. But this time, trades one back. Time is running out. Though I have to say, these patterns are not gonna get any easier. This ending is still no slouch. Oh, wait. Wait. Is there enough time? Is there enough time?
Oh my god, only a couple hundred points of flickering back and forth on the last long note, 300 points!
Oh, Russia gets the break point right off the bat, 300 points difference. It was those misses that really decided it. Oh my goodness. Like, ratio-wise, Russia lost that, but they were just consistent, more consistent overall.
Yeah, I did J with 0 200s as well. Very crazy accuracy there, but 4 misses otherwise. I mean, these misses took the entire lobby. That could have went either way, really. I mean, 300 points towards the end. That did just come down to the ending. And I mean, if there was only a few more seconds in the map, I think Malaysia could have taken that based on the combo cap. That was way too close.
It was just way too late. But I don't think Russia should pick Ellen after that. Like, they could have easily lost that. Like, the mere fact that they almost lost 16,000 points of difference in such a short period of time should already show that Malaysia is not a team to be messed up with when it comes to long notes. I think Russia's best picks are probably Hybrid 3 and maybe Hubris and Cold Heart Remix, because I think Malaysia's gonna find a lot of misses there.
Yeah, I mean, Malaysia giving away a breakpoint right off the bat, and that's really not what you'd like to see, but Russia, as you're saying, being a more physical-sided team, yeah, going to Race 2, I suppose this is very stamina-heavy, I want to mention it. It's just Jump Stream, it is a short map, but it's very, like, clumped together.
You mentioned two contrasting ideas there. You say how it's stamina draining, right? But
yeah,
you also say it's a very short map. Like, I mean, 266 BPM is very stamina draining indeed. It's just kind of interesting at, like, we're in a stage where even 2 minutes of jump stream can already be very, very exhausting to these players.
Yeah, 2 minutes of pretty much non-stop 266 BPM jump stream. Yeah, can be very demanding on those hands. And do we think this is Russia's best pick? I mean, I could say maybe it's definitely one of. If I were Russia, maybe going into a more physical pick, maybe like Race 5, for example. But, I mean, ultimately, what it comes down to is accuracy, and Russia can definitely show themselves when we take into account last round scores in the quarterfinals. So, really, I think all the rice for these guys are on the board.
Yeah, I think Russia's gonna go with the rice in general. Like, it's something they're very comfortable with. Although I have a very big concern for Russia. Like, you notice how Malaysia switched out like 2 of their players, Yon Hong and Leon, right? Russian Federation seems to be a team that will probably stick with this trio for a long period of time. Which is why I'm very concerned. Like, stamina is a big factor. Even if physically you don't feel like it, being mentally drained is another thing. Like, those two concepts are mixed together can really make you very exhausted, even in a way that you might not be able to comprehend.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I also think on the back of this point, if Russia have a good lead, then they can go straight into Race 3, like straight after this, but Jay finds the early miss there at the very start, giving an early lead to Russia. I'm not really too sure what happened there, but it is still definitely recoverable.
It's still way too early to call. I mean, Ice-Defy, I think, will have like one of the, if not the best accuracy in the entire lobby, with their history of being able to perform extremely well. But the thing about Russian Federation is they're just so balanced on picks like this. Oh, never mind. As I say that was a trade between J-Lai and Distar. I think that actually slightly benefits Malaysia because of the timing.
Yeah, missing in the middle of the map as opposed to the star is going to be quite detrimental here. Only 1,000 points though towards Malaysia. I mean, now starting to grow a little bit. These accuracies, the accuracy on the Russian roster, very close together. And then you have Malaysia Ice-Defy with a 99.9 9-2, really bringing it home for their team halfway through the map. Still got a lot to go, 266 BPM. This map does not let loose, but Manipstar finds yet another miss, giving a huge lead to Malaysia already. We could see 2 breakpoints in a row.
I mean, definitely could be the case. The fact that Malaysia has held their composure even after a drop is very impressive. But this lead is starting to shrink because if you're to look at the overall lags, okay, never mind. Oh, come on. That's very unfortunate. Like every time I say something positive about Russia, something happens. And I think those kinds of trills are something that Russia has to avoid. Makes you wonder, they gotta avoid dark chocolates with this logic then. Like, this is not something they can pick.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying earlier about how strong Russia are in these race picks, but I mean, Malaysia, besides that one miss at the very start from Jay, this is basically a triple FC from this team. What do Russia want to pick now? Are we going to see Russia picking into LN? But Ipstar, I'm not too sure what happened. That looked like a lag spike or...
It looked like a lag spike or a keyboard issue. But, okay, even without it, I think Malaysia would have had it in the bag. So looking at the accuracies, ratio-wise, Russia does win that varies ever so slightly. But, and like even in the 200 counts, if barring that very dirty drop at the end by this tire, Russia actually wins act-wise, but Malaysia just had the better consistency. So we're like seeing two different tales here. Malaysia having the better act on LN, but Russia won. Russia had the better act on Rice, but Malaysia won. So like this is really just showing that both teams have the capability to play both Rice and LN. It's just a matter of who has a better day really on those picks.
And as has been repeated throughout this tournament, I mean, the seeding does not matter, right? When you look at the scores that both of these teams had in the quarterfinals, Russia looked to have, like, a huge lead on the Rice maps and even some of the LNs as well. But, like, this does not paint the full picture, because as we've just seen, 2 breakpoints on both of Russia and Malaysia's, you could say, most comfortable picks. You know, they chose it first. And they've given it to the other team, so now we don't really know what to expect. What are these teams now thinking? What are they going to pick? Malaysia still choosing into the LN after winning on that Rice map.
It really makes a lot of sense, actually. I mean, again, we're looking at the LN pick that Malaysia lost on. They do have the better ceiling compared to Russia. Russia seems to be more balanced. While for Malaysia, they were really just a few misses from winning that. Act-wise, again, you have to remember, Malaysia has the advantage on LN Act overall. It's not right. But, man, if Russia is very consistent, I'm not sure it's able to pick.
Yeah, I mean, LN, Malaysia did look pretty good on LN last round, but we need to make sure that we don't see something like the last point again. They really need to, I think, up their game on these LN picks, and if they can get those combos that they were lacking on their previous pick, then LN starts to look really comfortable for these guys. And I mean, even after that Rice pick as well, maybe my initial prediction was wrong that Russia just had an edge over Malaysia. Maybe it's now going to turn into Malaysia having an edge over Russia. I mean, these seedings are so close. I guess this is kind of what you'd expect.
Yeah, you can't really predict how good a team will perform. Like, I don't know, like both teams just have the capability to perform in any pick.
Both teams very strong indeed. Getting into another LN map chosen by Malaysia, and I mean, we've seen that they've got the accuracy advantage here, but Jay finds yet another miss at the very start of the map. This isn't the first time this has happened, but as we've seen in the last map, it didn't really show much. Robot trades it back very early on, and Manipstar.
Yeah, this tire and Robot finding those early drops. I mean, again, early is the key word, so that shouldn't really affect it too much. But accuracy-wise, this is really where the accuracy advantage of Malaysia is really going to show. But I feel like Russia can catch up, especially if consistency is something that Malaysia is going to lack.
Yeah, I mean, 5,000 points, I would like to say isn't too much, but this map is 3.5 minutes long. This score lead can start to build up really fast. Robot finds another miss. This map starts to look really comfortable for Malaysia here, but we're only a quarter of the way through. I mean, anything can still happen. These trills, all players hit them relatively comfortably, but Russia is only holding on to one full combo on their team as opposed to Malaysia's two, basically three if Jay had not missed at that start.
Not yet, not yet. Just way too early to call still. 10,000 points of difference, even though this is a 3-minute map, like we just said. I don't think this is safe. Like, the mere fact that we saw Russia win a point on LN, that should already be something concerning.
Oh, it's certainly not safe, but I mean, I think Malaysia can afford to miss. Maybe depends on how bad the miss is, but yeah, we've still got over a minute and a half left of this map to go. I mean, there's still plenty of room for error, but Malaysia just still have, I would say, a nice lead. 12,000 points, getting into yet another difficult section of this map. Everyone just looks super comfortable.
Very much so. The lead for Malaysia is increasing. Accuracy for Russia has been dropping ever so slightly. I think Malaysia is on the verge of having a triple full combo, but something tells me the second half is probably going to give some trouble if Malaysia isn't careful, of course.
Yeah, it's only just about a quarter of the map left. This is the last break section before it really hits, and ultimately will come down to this ending. If Malaysia do find some pretty nasty drops, it can go to Russia really quickly. So Malaysia, you just hold on to that combo as much as they can. Don't let the nerves get the better of you. 14,000 points. All it takes is one messy drop.
Definitely, this is looking really good for... This is actually looking really good for Malaysia. The fact that the lead really hasn't changed a lot goes to show how consistent everyone has been. As they say that J-Life finds a drop, but that's only gonna be like 5,000 points of decrease. Russia would need like a couple more misses, and I don't think that's gonna happen based on how consistent Malaysia has been for a map like this.
Yeah, it just goes to show how good Malaysia's scores are, that Jay, even with that miss towards the end, only cost a couple thousand points, and that's gonna be it. Malaysia taking their first pick point, and the first pick point of the match. 9,000 point lead towards Malaysia here. This is why they pick LN. And they're really showing themselves today. Jay, 3 missed, but besides that, we see a double full combo in the Malaysian side versus Russia's only 1 full combo, but you look at the accuracy difference. And I mean, Malaysia are they're just ahead. I mean, look at the 200 count.
Yeah, 200 count alone. Actually, if you look at it, the ratio-wise, I think Russia actually has a slight advantage over Malaysia, but those 200 counts definitely spelled a lot of difference there. So in my opinion, this is a great pick for Malaysia. Definitely it's gonna help them keep their motivations up, but that accuracy started to get concerning for me. Like, if Russia's really gonna have a slight advantage on all of the picks in terms of AC, something tells me that something, like, let's say Malaysia starts breaking apart. That's going to be very concerning because Russia has the accuracy to, like, literally match anyone here, and that's why I'm very concerned.
Yeah, I mean, Russia do have pretty good ratio, but ultimately Malaysia they just combo. I mean, they really showed themselves on that map, and I would not be surprised at all if they just kept choosing into those LN maps. I mean, probably LN3 would be next from them, but yeah, no, they can win based on combo alone, really. Russia did manage to find all those chokes throughout the map, and that's not really something you'd like to see, especially because obviously missing towards the middle, missing with big gaps between each other will lose you a lot of score as well, so I don't know. I really don't know. I think Malaysia do still have a pretty strong lead on the LNs here. Russia, most likely, going to opt into another rice map.
Again, we really just have to see what they gotta pick. I think Russia picks Rice 1. I think Rice 1's something very good for them.
Oh, and they opt into Rice 3. I mean, Rice 3 is, I would say, pretty similar to Rice 2, but this one is just longer with not many breaks, really. It's over 3 minutes long, whereas Rice 2 was just about 2 minutes. So the performance that we saw from Russia on Rice 2, hopefully we don't see that again going into Rice 3. I would say this is a risky pick.
I would go as far as to say this is not a good pick. Like, I don't know. You lost the jump stream pick, and sure, that one's shorter, and that one's faster. But like, what the way I'm seeing this is like, you won, you lost a jump stream pick, right? And now you're picking another one. I don't like this pick. Like, if you're gonna bank on Malaysia's physicality falling off, I mean, they are a team that full comboed literally every map in the qualifiers, so you cannot just expect Malaysia to miss a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is possible. This map is, like I said, over 3 minutes long. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. When you compare it to Race 2, I mean, maybe Russia do have a much stronger team on these longer maps. The maps that are more stamina draining with, you know, no breaks. And Malaysia, maybe Russia just hasn't seen much from them. When you look at the quarterfinals results, I mean, it looks like Russia should be able to take this point. But we didn't see that on Race 2 previously in this match. So maybe after that Race 2 that was picked, maybe they do just feel more confident going into Race 3. You know, that first pick is always just get out the way. But now they're on their second pick, maybe they just feel more comfortable.
Maybe, but again, I'm not really so sure about this pick. Like, I just feel like this could really not end up well if Russia isn't careful. And not to mention, a couple of their players have gotten their breaks, like Icefy and Progen was able to rest up a little bit. Meanwhile, Russia sticking to this trio of players for a long while now, that's gonna cost a lot of stamina.
Yeah, and I mean, very, very early on, we can see that Russia probably do have the slight ratio advantage here. Do see some accuracy jumps there from Progi. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I apologize, but yeah, I mean, Russia do have the early accuracy advantage, and as long as they can hold that throughout the entire map, I mean, that might be easier said than done, obviously, with this map having almost no breaks. Yeah, it is certainly doable, and they probably can at some point afford to miss if they can just hold on to this accuracy.
I think they're really trying to target Progen sucks here. Like, they're probably aware that they can outact Progen, but Malaysia's J-Lie and Icefy can certainly cancel out whatever Russia has prepared. Only problem is Russia has a triple 99.8, and knowing how long this map goes and how repetitive these patterns are, this could really cost a lot of stamina for any of the players here. Oh, well, right on cue.
Yeah, I mean, as we were saying, Russia finding those misses, I mean, this reminds you of Rice 2, right? This exact same thing happened. Russia's finding those chokes, giving the points away to Malaysia. Minetko finds, yeah, another miss. This is already a 9,000 point lead to Malaysia on a 3-minute map on your own pick. I mean, this could not be going any worse for Russia here. Already halfway through the map, they all need to really combo the rest and hope that Malaysia find a miss. There is definitely enough time for that to happen, but they all just seem pretty comfortable. They seem pretty confident on this map thus far.
I wouldn't be surprised if Russia still, like, let's say ratio-wise and tournament count-wise, Russia may have a slight advantage. But if Malaysia just does not miss, like what you said, they're very comfortable, very consistent. Oh, that's the worst place to find a miss. You cannot find misses on those breaks because those are the times where the opponent team will not find misses at all.
Ah, and there goes Manipstar as well. Manipko and Manipstar finding misses at these floor sections, but now getting back into it in the last quarter of the map. 17,000 points to Malaysia. I mean, we're going to need to see a collapse from Malaysia here for Russia to take this point back. All three of them are full comboing on the Malaysian side.
This is exactly why I didn't like this pick. Like, Malaysia was very consistent on the jump stream pick, at least in comparison to Russia. So why would you go for something like that? And this is a I think it's a tactical blunder on the Russian Federation side. It's a very unfortunate situation, but at this point, they just gotta hope Malaysia finds some mistakes because I think they can still happen. These trails and are not easy at all.
Yeah, very trilly section of the map, but 15,000 point lead. I mean, I don't really think there's much that Russia can do at this point. Malaysia just needs to hold on to those combos, and it does seem like they will, getting into the last couple of seconds of the map. And everyone just seems to be so good. We will be seeing A triple FC from Malaysia there. They look really dominant on Russia's pick, and I do agree. I did not think this was maybe Russia's wisest pick, but look at the ratios. I mean, the ratio on the Russian side definitely beats Malaysia here. They just had to get that combo, and what can you do against a triple full combo?
Agreed. I mean, okay, the silver lining is regardless of how many breakpoints happen, I don't know, the way I see it is like, regardless of how many breakpoints, like you notice how there was a one breakpoint already, the mere fact that Russia can match their accuracy or even do better, I think that shouldn't really be, that should already be a sign that they shouldn't be too demotivated, because they can definitely take something off Malaysia here.
Yeah, I agree. Even on the LNs, they can, as we've seen before on LN2. I mean, Russia definitely have that potential, but now there's no more of those consistent accuracy, I would say, rice maps for Russia. So that might be actually a blessing in disguise. The maps they have left are probably more on the physical side of things, so maybe Russia will actually perform better on those. They will need to take a breakpoint back from Malaysia if they want a chance here. And Malaysia, like I said earlier, going into LN3, this is very much expected from this team. And this map, actually, I can see being winnable for Russia.
Actually, I agree. I'm not sure if this was the brightest pick in hindsight, but considering with all the options that are left, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if I'm Malaysia here, I really should be on edge with the maps that I am picking. I mean, every single map thus far, the ratios have been very close, very much tied with Russia. So all it takes is just a few drops, and we have seen that. So if this happens again, Russia could take a breakpoint for free.
I agree. Like, okay, Leon not coming in, I think it's not surprising because I think Leon might not be too comfortable with this. I just feel like this could be a point that Russia can take if Malaysia isn't careful.
Malaysia needs to be really careful indeed. All the players are ready, about to get into this. Only, I mean, just under 2 minutes long. This is a pretty short map. Each miss does count. And, I mean, this map does have some more rice sections. There are some rice streams, some little bursts in there, where maybe the players can get caught off guard. And this probably does actually favor Russia as well. I would say this map is actually somewhat of a streamy LN map, which, you know, I would actually say is pretty good for Russia. When you compare it to LN2 as well, they lost on LN4, but sure, LN2, they won that. They can most definitely win this.
I just find it funny that Russia's single point is on an LN pick. But now, okay, Robot finding a drop on the mini jacks, that's certainly not a good sign. But if this is chokeable for Russia, I feel like Malaysia is also on the same vulnerability because of how awkward those long jacks are. I would be really surprised if both teams would find only very minimal misses. Then again though, Robot finding a lot of ad drops, that is not gonna help Russia's case at all. That's definitely gonna help Malaysia a lot.
Yeah, he's misses early on from Russia here, giving a pretty strong lead to Malaysia. Now this map is very short, so this can sway back very easily. All players managing to hit these drills and jacks pretty nicely. They are definitely very chokeable. Halfway through the map, I mean, 14,000 point lead doesn't paint the full picture here, does it?
Yeah, this is where it really starts to pick up. J-Li finding a drop, but that's not too bad of a miss actually, because that was very clean. But Robot finding a couple of misses, now that's gonna massively hurt their chances. Meanwhile for Russia, for Malaysia, oh, they're starting to trade. I think it's only Yonhong who's keeping the full combo, and this tire, so only one full combo each team. I mean, with all the mini jacks and anchors here, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that and all these trills as well, but 20,000 point lead, there's not really much that Russia can do at this point besides pray that Malaysia find these drops, but it does not seem likely. We see Malaysia with almost 3 99.6s on their team, and Russia pretty close behind, besides Robot with 9.1. We do see those drops throughout that map, and ultimately, that may have cost them this point. these ratios as well, very close together. Most certainly winnable for Russia, but they just couldn't take it home.
Just couldn't execute those LNs. So yeah, now Russia is in a one break. They're just one break point behind actually. So I don't think they should panic, really. The only problem is though they gotta start to take a point now.
Yeah, and I mean, also saying that Malaysia, they've only got one LN pick left, and that's LN1, the release map, and Malaysia have obviously left this one last for a reason, right? So Russia, as long as they can get those points on those race maps, honestly, I think anything really race that's left is good for Russia. But okay, choosing race 1, which is probably, I would actually say, maybe one of their best picks as well. But yeah, they can definitely win all these race maps, but they just need to get that breakpoint back.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they really got to start taking some points off. Like, they gotta start getting their own point before they can even think of taking a point from Malaysia. And I don't think that's impossible.
Map is 180 BPM streams, and I mean, for a speed map, there are definitely a lot of very tricky one-hand trills thrown into the mix here. I would not be surprised if we see quite a few chokes in this map throughout the match.
There might be. I mean, it's a speed map. I think they have to be very careful with a pick like this, though.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of chokes from both teams already throughout this match. Russia, they really need to try keep that combo high for as long as possible. Even if they can lower their miss count by just like 1 or 2 less misses, that can be the be-all end-all for this team here. They really need to focus on that combo.
Indeed, they got to.
And ultimately, I think that has been Russia's downfall throughout this match so far. It just has been on the back of that combo. They have had the accuracy advantage in a lot of these maps, but it really just comes down to these couple of misses that they're finding throughout the maps. And as long as they can get to a point where it's like, okay, we really need to focus now, let's get these combos, they can get it, right? These misses are so detrimental in Scorby 2 especially.
Yeah, there are a lot. They're very detrimental indeed. But what's more detrimental really is an act disadvantage. And look at ProGN sucks right now. Not having the hidden mod on, I think it's one of those, you can't really equip the hidden or accuracy might really falter. And that's a big problem here because Malaysia is really on an act disadvantage, like a 0.3 act disadvantage between ProGN and Robot Hakolek. Robot is pretty big, but it's starting to close in actually. Then again, these patterns I think are very comfortable for everyone so far.
Yeah, I mean, the accuracy advantage towards Russia here. I think that miss at the start was a client miss, but Yeonhong actually being the first one to find a miss. Only a third of the way through the map. This map is 2.5 minutes long, 6,000 point lead to Russia. This map does not let loose though. It really just pushes it, and all players, besides that one miss from Yeonhong, managing to find that combo, and Russia, this might be the biggest lead that they have had recently.
But it's not safe at all. 2 minutes 31 seconds. A miss can still change a lot of stuff. Not to mention Yeonhong's accuracy isn't that bad. Like, it's still ahead of Robot. So that's still a good sign. But ProGN certainly has to do some work in increasing that accuracy. 7,000 points is not safe. Not to mention a lot of speed sections happen. And I think that ultimately gives a disadvantage to Malaysia.
Yeah, I mean, 7,000 point lead, and we do see these rolls. ProGen sucks, does find, yeah, another miss at this slower section. I'm not really sure as to why we're seeing this so much throughout this match, but these chokes happen, I guess. This is a really comfortable lead for Russia, but there's still a core of the map left, and they just all need to hold on. The triple FC from this team, I think it's the most dominant score that we have seen from Russia thus far, and this could be the beginning of the comeback.
Oh!
But Nipstar finds the miss right at the very start of that. Oh my god, Robot as well!
Wait, as long as they hold the accuracy, it could still be in Russia's favor, but oh, this time finds a drop, that's huge! Can Malaysia hold on though? Yeonhong, look at Yeonhong right now, it's hitting really late. That could really make them miss, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Russia had such a big lead, but Pure
Wait.
Sox find to miss
Oh,
5,000
five.
points. It is not recoverable. Russia had such a strong lead going into that final section, but they all just had a collapse.
That's crazy. Ice5 definitely was the MVP there. Like, having the V1 double S in a very high pressure situation. Very impressive work from them.
Wow, I cannot believe what I just saw. That looked to be like Russia were finally getting back in it. 15,000 point lead. All of a sudden, we see two players just get a bunch of misses out of nowhere and just give it back to Malaysia right at the very end. I'm just in disbelief.
Same, honestly. So now we're gonna go for fake, fake, fake. I think this actually works very well right now. But I don't know. I think it's still too early to call.
Yeah, I mean, always just think back to LN2, right? Malaysia choosing the LNs. Russia does take a breakpoint on that, and I do think as well, even LN4 was relatively close. You know, like I said, it really just comes down to those misses, and this map does have some hard parents. I would say this map, out of all the LN maps, might be the most chokeable, but I guess that's kind of just my opinion. And Malaysia choosing this map last for a reason, so we could actually see some chokes from Malaysia. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And Russia, hopefully, if they put up as good of a performance as we just saw in Race 1, despite the ending, they're still in the game, right? They're still here. They're still here to play.
Definitely, but we have to wait and see if everyone's prepared. I think, however, I mean, Russia had the higher score overall against Malaysia and LN1 last round. So I'm looking at Packet Hero. Yeah, Russia does have the better score than Malaysia. 2950 to 2942, so that's pretty close. But I feel like Malaysia's been so consistent this round. I mean, that's expected really, because of how consistent they were in qualifiers. They would definitely be consistent at this stage as well.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying about last round, Russia did seem to have pretty good scores over Malaysia, but we just don't see that in this match. Malaysia are really putting on a good show today. Yeon Hong was ghost tapping at the start there, and it cost them, giving already a really big accuracy advantage to Russia, but it is too early. But that could be the difference, ultimately.
That really surprised me, but it's, again, like I just said, still too early, so we can't really judge based off that. I think what really makes this file hard is 2 minutes and 35 seconds is very... It's a pretty long chart, especially for LN release. It definitely would feel like forever. But looking at the axe, Nepco finding a few dirty judgments and a miss as well, so it kind of trades back what happened to Yeonhong.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad miss, relatively speaking. When you look at the accuracy difference, I mean, it's already 10,000 points, and Russia only had one miss, and Malaysia, even with that rough intro, they're still taking it. I mean, their accuracy is just so strong, but Leon finds a miss. Russia, the accuracy might not be super important, but Robot does trade it back, and overall, that just gives Malaysia more points on the back of their accuracy.
But they're trading misses, so this is not exactly safe and sound just yet. And I'm seeing Yeonhong finding a few 200s on this break section. This is... and a miss! Oh, that's a horrible place to miss. Here's the thing, the accolades clearly on Malaysia, but now you have more of these difficult LN parts. Technicality, I think, favors Malaysia based off LN4. But something tells me this is just really not going to be safe. They gotta start being more consistent because Russia's starting to catch up.
Yes, a less than 10,000 points lead. I mean, Malaysia still got the accuracy advantage, but we do see some misses at some really slow sections. There's still a core of the map left, and oh my god, Leon finds a miss. That is the start. That is 6,000, but Robot trades it back.
Robot plays it back, yeah, but I feel like Malaysia's more susceptible to misses right now. I don't know. Had that miss from Robot not happened, it could have really went to Russia, but time is running out. And now we have more of these awkward sections. It could still go to Russia, but Malaysia just very careful. And Nepco missing there, I think that's the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, Manipko finals misses towards the end there is really going to seal the deal. 23,000 points. That is, I mean, it did come pretty close. We did see the lead start to go towards Russia, but those misses, like we've been saying throughout the entire match, it really does just come down to these misses. Malaysia, Jay finding a full combo, as well as Manipstar as well, but just look at the 200 count. Yeah, again, Malaysia just seemed to have that edge over Russia on this accuracy, but the ratio still way too close.
Yeah, I think this is a very bad position for Russia Federation. I think, again, act-wise, Russia may have had a chance, but consistency-wise, Malaysia was just better, and now they're taking a timeout.
Yeah, I really have to think about what your game plan is. I mean, you've only got 3 rice maps left, and then it's going straight into the hybrids. Have either team played SV1? I mean, that's just been sat there the entire time. But Russia, most likely, I would say, going to choose rice. I don't think it'd be worth a gamble on SV, considering you have proven yourself to have that really good ratio on these rice maps. But just every single time, it just comes down to these chokes. They really need to fix something.
I think Russia's gonna pick Rice 5 or Rice 6. It's really their best choices, in my opinion.
Rice 5, Rice 6. Rice 5, most likely, I would say, would be their maybe best pick if they're going for the physicality. But I'm not too sure about Rice 6. Rice 6, in the sense about consistency, when you look at Rice 2 and Rice 3, what we've already seen, I mean, Rice 6 might be a gamble. I would really say this is very risky. But if Russia do just want to play that physicality card, Rice 5, maybe even Rice 7, but Rice 5 I would say is definitely going to be their safest option. Now, I don't think Malaysia had played the SV last round, and Russia had only played 1. So, like I said, I think SV is very much so in the air. I can't see any team picking this, but maybe as a last resort, Russia going for it, we could see something.
Okay. I don't know, like, now that I'm really curious about something, like, will Russia go for, like, which rice is Russia gonna go for? I don't think they're picking hybrids, but if they're gonna pick hybrids, I think it's gotta be hybrid 3.
For Malaysia, I mean, yeah, they've drained out all their LNs, and now they're going to start to pick more into Russia with, yeah, they're forced to pick hybrids, so maybe it could get a little bit dicey. I mean, Russia having to win 6 points in a row, I mean 5 just to get the tiebreaker. It does seem pretty unlikely, but yes, very much so doable.
I don't know, I'm starting to really doubt the options that Russia has right now. So like all the LMs are gone, but the problem is they've lost like a couple of breakpoints already on Rice. Not to mention, I don't even think Russia has won a single point on Rice. Like that 1 point was just on LN, really.
Yeah, it was LN2 on the back of those misses from Malaysia, but we can still see that. I mean, Malaysia, maybe they're going to be getting too comfortable with their lead. We don't want to see that happen. We don't want to see Malaysia maybe getting a bit too confident that, okay, we're 6 points up. We're 6-1 against Russia. But yeah, okay, Russia is opting Rice 5. I would say this is their best pick, personally.
Absolutely their best pick, yeah. Cold Heart remix, like, with all the technicality, I think Malaysia might find a lot of misses there.
But yeah, with only 3 Rice maps left in the pool, this has to be the beginning. We do have to see Russia get a really good team score here, so that means they can carry that over through their next maps. And I did feel kind of confident after seeing their Race 1 scores, but ultimately it did just come down to the ending, and then we didn't get to see it again. Russia do have that chance to be dominant, but they just need to show it. Now would be the time to do that.
Absolutely. I'm not sure, like, I'm just really worried because I feel like if any, at any cost, Russia just cannot underperform at all, because Malaysia has been extremely consistent this entire match.
Malaysia have been very consistent, and Russia still, I would say they're pretty shaky, but they can just at any point. And I'm gonna keep saying this, Rice 1, that was a good showing, besides the ending. We just need to see that again, but slightly better. And even if we see that again, then we can actually, Russia do have that chance to push it to tiebreaker. They just need to get that consistency. But a 3-minute long map, and this map is very... this is FFR charting, right? This map is very technical. We do see a lot of rolls, a lot of bursts. Very much a chokeable map. Maybe the most physical map in this pool. Russia, they need to show us something.
Definitely. I think the reason why Russia might have started to like drop a little bit is the mere fact that Russia's 3 players have played literally every map. But you've noticed how Malaysia tends to swap some players at some point, and that could definitely have been a contributing factor as to why they're sort of being able to conserve stamina. But looking at all the acts for everyone, why is everyone just at 99.6 and above? And the fact that Nepco found a drop on those mini jacks at the start, I'm very concerned now with this pick.
I mean, for most, like you were saying, for most of these maps, we do actually see these Malaysian and Russian rosters not really changing so much. It has just been these 6 players for a lot of these maps. And stamina can play a pretty big role. This map is almost 3 minutes long, 16,000 point lead. We see some ugly misses from Russia. Malaysia with a triple FC on a more physical map. This is what we were saying, Russia's maybe best pick, and Malaysia, with their lead, maybe we have to think otherwise. But still, half of the map left.
I didn't think Malaysia would be so consistent. Like, the moment, like, how? Again, everyone's accuracies are extremely good as well. But with those anchors, mini jacks and rolls, you'd expect some misses to happen on both teams. But no, looks like only Russia's suffering from those.
Yeah, we just see more misses come up from Russia here. 25,000 points. Might be the biggest lead we have seen thus far in this match. And it's on Russia's pick on Rice 5 of all maps. Malaysia with the triple full combo. Robot trying his damnedest, but with the misses from Manipstar and Manipco, that really might be the nail in the coffin. But Jaylee is the first person to find a miss on the Malaysian side. That could be this start, but there's really not much left. Manipco does manage to trade that back, so... this lead is getting way too strong.
It is indeed getting extremely strong. Malaysia's still consistent. I did not think it would end like this. I was really surprised at how consistent Malaysia has been. And like, they're just proving that they have the capability to just pull scores like this off.
Such a dominant performance from Malaysia here. We do see the miss choke from Jay there earlier on in the map, and almost very close to seeing a triple FC from Malaysia. That is such a big score lead. I mean, these ratios as well, maybe Russia didn't perform as well as they did on the other race maps, but ultimately, I don't think Russia played really bad. I think Malaysia just played really good in this match.
Yeah, both teams did great, but man, what a performance by Malaysia. They really showed why they were a team that was able to full combo literally every map in the map pool for qualifiers. They really showed how consistent they are.
Yeah, consistency was definitely key in this match. Definitely not something that you see every day in these matches. Consistency trumps the accuracy, but we definitely got to see a perfect example of that here. And I honestly, for Seed 9 versus Seed 10, I would like to say I was very close. Don't let the scoreline fool you. 7-1, but when you look at the accuracy differences for both these teams, definitely much closer than it seemed.
Yeah, that was definitely not a 6-1. Sorry, 7-1. That was definitely not a 7-1. And honestly speaking, like Malaysia could have definitely lost some points if Russia didn't have those collapses at the end. But you know, it is what it is.
And with that match having concluded, next up we have Singapore versus Japan, 9 minutes from now. And that will be, I believe, on the same stream, so don't go anywhere unless you have anything left to say, Silveska else.
Nothing really other than please stay tuned for the next matches. I hope that y'all enjoy what we're showing you guys so far. And see you later for the match Singapore and Japan.